EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to our nation's capital at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. Just as we were getting ready for air, both teams coming out of their locker rooms, out of the tunnel, and this crowd is pumped up as their Redskins get set to match up with the Chicago Bears. Dustin Hopkins has it on the tee, and here we go from our nation's capital. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20.
28 yards, number 33 on the return.
Double tight. Out. Come on, let's go. Red 38.
Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay. And that'll set them back 5. So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game.
Hey. We got 3. Let's go. What? 90.
And he's not going anywhere to start the night. They stop him at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
I'm not sure that you'd call it a trick play, but they definitely showed some imagination there. I wouldn't be surprised if they want to come back and show this play a few more times before this one is over.
Watch tight end. Tight end's right. Red's up. Red's up. 4 down.
This time, Trubisky will throw. And he's going to be brought down.
Come on.
Back at his own 6-yard line.
18.
Well, it was 2nd long. Now it's 3rd and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving them exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right.
Hey, gotta go.
Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
Red's up. Blue.
Now Trubisky on 3rd and long. That's complete to the Memphis man, Anthony Miller.
Come on, gotta go.
And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
18.
He'll get 17 back there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. Here's Trubisky. It's his target. It's Taylor Gabriel. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. And the drive stays in motion with a nice 8-yard pickup on 4th.
Defense all day. Let's get it.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
That's the way to hit. Mike's 5-4. All day, baby.
That good for 19 and a 1st down. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
Yo.
On 1st and 10, it's Trubisky. They'll set up the screen to Howard. And he'll get it down here to the 43. A nice little screen. They get 6 on 1st down.
How about that shuffle pass? Or if you want to call it the shovel pass, that's fine too. That's one of those plays that you take a little bit of risk there because you're trying to throw the ball into the middle of the field where a lot of big bodies lurk, and they can knock it away, pick it off, but they were able to execute it successfully on that play.
Here we go. What? 90.
And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a third down.
But when you go from 2nd and 4 to 3rd and 3, that just tells you who won that battle on the last play, huh?
Yeah, first round went to the offense, second round the defense. A good chance this is 4-down territory if they're unable to convert. But right now looking at a 3rd and 3. Here's carry number 1 for Jordan Howard. And he's brought down, but not before picking up the first with a very effective stiff arm. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. On first, they go right back to Howard. And past the 30, down to about the 27. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
Let's go.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Right there, 54 Mike. Let's go. Let's get this ball back for the offense. Let's go.
This is Howard on 2nd down. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. It's been a pretty long opening drive. This will be play number 11 coming up on 3rd down.
Tight end right. Set up. 180. 4 down. 4 down. Watch 80. Watch 80. He likes to get those jump balls.
Out of the gun, Trubisky. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Then it's Clinton Dix with a pick. And they are going to take over right there at the 22-yard line. Oh, and I saw the pressure coming at him. That just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy, and can he step into a throw. And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
I don't even know why this team showed up.
And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
58, right over there.
And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Big Eddie Goldman there on the tackle.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Watch the safety creep. Come on, let's go. Red 38. Red 38. Ohio. Ohio. Flex round. Flex round. 58's the mic. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, get him. Ohio! Ohio!
They just do get the playoff as he'll look to throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Leonard Floyd. And they have the football and will set up shop at the 33-yard line.
But this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
Here we go! Red 38!
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
Team store on the lower level for great deals on officially licensed NFL products, including hats, visors, jerseys, and
They run play action for Howard. Now Trubisky steps away, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Ryan Kerrigan in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Here's Trubisky to throw. He's going to wind up and air it out. And this is caught inside the 5. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
I know they had good coverage downfield, but you have to wonder, on 3rd and long like that, how does that happen, that they can get that far downfield and complete a pass? You got to guard the sticks, understand where you are, so it's almost like someone fell asleep at the switch, and now that the play's been completed, they've got to dust themselves off on defense, pick it up, and figure out how to not let that happen again.
Only a yard that time, 2nd and goal. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. Jordan Howard punching it in from a yard away. And the Bears are in for 6. Solid job up front. Really just a solid job all the way around to get that one in.
Yeah, that was well executed, wasn't it? Well blocked, well run. End result, 6 points.
Touchdown. Cody Parkey is on now for the point after. Parkey with the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Here's Parkey now, set to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Washington's offense coming out here to get the football again, but the Redskins, CD, they've lost 4 in a row after that loss last week to New York. So it seems like only yesterday they were 6-3.
It was yesterday.
Atop the NFC East. But the injury to Alex Smith, then Colt McCoy, the backup, got injured. They're in some trouble.
Yeah, both of them with broken legs, and Alex Smith's especially tough injury. They tried Mark Sanchez, not the long-term answer. None of us really expected that.
Here we go.
They tried Josh Johnson, who hadn't completed an NFL pass since 2011. He was marginally better. He will start for them next week. That's what it's come to. The formula of running Adrian Peterson playing good defense has not worked lately, and now Washington looks like they're out of the playoff race.
That's a crazy stat about Josh Johnson. Imagine going 7 seasons between completing your NFL passes.
How about that?
Boy, CD Mack, just from day one, he's looked so good in a Bears uniform, literally and figuratively. And some Raiders fans watching this saying, oh, I wish we had him on our team.
Yeah, just about every Raiders fan saying he looked a lot better in silver and black. Why don't we still have him? But in Chicago, immediately comfortable, fit right into their defensive scheme. They said, go get the passer, and that's exactly what he's done. Leonard Floyd, another first-round pick coming from the other side. He has really helped Chicago get off to a great start, and they love how he disrupts teams' offenses.
Give him 7 on the play, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Tight end to the right, boys. Tight end to the right. Move.
They pitch it out to Peterson. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down.
Partner, we're into the second quarter, and I guess you can kind of look at it both ways. The offense, they've got to figure out what they're going to do because they haven't scored any points. But if you're the defense, you're feeling great about what you've got going on. The only concern you have, if you get to the half, what adjustments will the offense make to try to defeat you?
This is taken at about the 14. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Bears take over. Chicago, they're taking the field again here on the offensive side, and any questions as to whether the Bears were for real, I think they were answered on last week, Sunday night, Week 14, convincing win in the cold over the L.A. Rams 15-6.
Yeah, they are legit on defense, aren't they? Forced 4 turnovers and held the L.A. Rams. Let me say that again. The L.A. Rams, a team averaging almost 35 points a game, to just 2 field goals. They've got to feel fantastic about that. They did get their quarterback, Mitchell Trubisky, back for the game. He threw 3 interceptions. If he cuts down the interceptions, if he cuts down the turnovers, the Bears could be very dangerous in the playoffs with that defense.
Yeah, they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
And while we're seeing more and more of these plays come from the college game into the NFL, and that one, it was run with great success, how about the evolution of the offensive linemen? We're seeing less and less big guys who can't move and more guys who are a lot more mobile and can get out in front of that type of a play.
And he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. It's a gain of a yard, and it takes us to the 2-minute warning.
We got 4 down. 4 down.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. Back to FedEx Field following this short break.
Strong right. Strong right. Strong right.
Sit up. 180.
Hey.
Red, up.
We got 4 down.
On second down, here's Trubisky. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion.
Red, up.
On third down, Trubisky. Escaping the press. Now Trubisky lost the football, and the Redskins scoop it.
I know it's a phrase that sounds really cool, strip sack. But all we're talking about is getting to the guy, getting to the passer, making the tackle, making the play, but do a little bit extra, right? Stripping the ball out, working the arm free. That's become a big emphasis for all defenders.
Yeah, and as a defender with the emphasis, this is something that's practiced.
Practiced all the time. Taking the ball away, creating turnovers, that's really job one for any defense because that's how you win in today's NFL.
They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. Redskins with their first trip to the red zone thus far. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 17.
Come on, let's go. Red 38.
I can't believe
And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
Double tight. Hey, boys, we got 4 down. Hey, 58 is the mic. Going 58's the mic.
And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half.
Double tight.
Let's go. Red 38. Red 38. Ohio.
26.
Ohio.
Right over there. Yeah.
Here's Johnson on third down.
You got nothing today.
And almost intercepted. Would have been a huge pick in the end zone, but as it stands, that brings up 4th.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on third down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
So they're going to come to the line here, and it appears trying to go for it on 4th.
It's just me and you.
Let's go. What? 90. What? 90.
Mike is 59. Mike to 59.
I hope you brought your lunch because I'm about to take you to school.
Ohio.
Looking to throw. Johnson. And Johnson lost the football. It's loose, poked out. And I think the Bears have recovered. They have. And they're not able to convert on 4th down. And hindsight 2020, I think they probably should have gone for the field goal, right?
The 3 points would look really good right now, but I think what we just saw there, analytics really starting to creep into the game because more and more teams are saying the more you go for it, the better your odds of getting it, the better your odds of scoring 6 points instead of 3. They took a chance there. It just didn't pay off.
Yeah, right here, the anti-analytics guys go thumbs up and nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage.
We got double tight. Double tight.
3 down, 3 down.
24's on the move. 24's on the move.
And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. Just a couple on the pickup there, and now it's 3rd down.
But not a big gain with that play. But what they're doing is they're spreading the defense out, probing a little bit, and what they're hoping probably is that later in the game, they can create a matchup that they can exploit for big yardage later.
The Bears on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 8.
Mike's 5-4, Mike.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th. He'll have a 1st down past the 40, and he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. Set to resume. Here we go with the second half. The Bears holding the lead and ready to receive the kick. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. The Redskins offense now, they head back onto the field. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line.
Ohio! Ohio!
Check, check.
Ohio! Ohio!
Fresno.
Flex round! Flex round!
59's Mike. Check, check. 59.
Rip right, rip right.
Flex round! Flex round! Ohio! Ohio!
Johnson now on 1st and 10. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack. Danny Trevathan in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Now it's AP, Adrian Peterson. And not much of an opening there as he's only going to get this to about the 32. Danny Trevathan there to bring him down.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
You must be getting tired of seeing me.
Flex round! Flex round!
Johnson throwing on 3rd and long. And he's going to be wrapped up and driven down. Khalil Mack in there to drop him for his 2nd sack now here tonight. Here's Tressway now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Now, nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And it'll be a short field for the Bears as they take over 1st and 10. So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after me if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away.
Yeah,
Defense,
yeah.
we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. Give him 30 yards there.
This is one of those plays that has an equal chance of either being a big gain or a big loss, but with the college influence, we're seeing more of these plays come into the NFL.
Three down.
On first and goal, Howard. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. Jordan Howard, his second touchdown of the night. And the Bears will extend their lead.
That's it, baby. That's it. That's six, baby. We got it all day up in here. We got it all day.
Now Parkey for the extra point. Parkey adds the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Here's Parkey now, set to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And here come the Redskins now. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here.
Well, if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's second and 12.
Here we go.
And able to stay on his feet past the 30 to about the 33-yard line. Kyle Fuller, the one to make the tackle.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. And a loss of 3 to bring up fourth.
Khalil Mack's starting to get a really big-time reputation as a pass rusher, and rightly so. So explosive off the edge getting to the quarterback. But he doesn't neglect his run duties as well. How about that tackle right there? Such a package he has, able to play the run and the pass so well.
Here's Tressway. And look at this. It's a fake. And he's going to let it go deep. He rifles one that's intercepted. Eddie Jackson picks it. And they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line. On fourth down, that turned out like a punt. Maybe he was better defensively there just to knock it down.
And you know they go over those situations. All right, fourth down, where's the ball? Where would we get the ball? But instinct takes over, and when it's in the air, they just go and get it. So it's hard to get on him for intercepting it, but the smart play would have been what you suggested. Knock it down and take over in a deeper position.
Let's go. What? 90. What? 90.
54's Mike. 54's Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. I'm coming after you.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now third down. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now, 3rd and long. Back now at FedEx Field. It's Bears football here. They also have the lead as well. The Bears on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 14.
18. 3 down.
Throwing here, Trubisky. Able to find Shaheen, the tight end. A really good pickup of 28 yards. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
3 down.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Double tight. Hey, we got
And he gets this down inside the 35 before going out of bounds. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
Well, that play looks familiar because we saw them working on it in practice this week. And for a lineman trying to block on this play, they love when they get the defense moving in one direction, and when they try and change directions, it's a lot easier to pick them up and ward them off.
And he's able to get it to the 33, good enough for a first down. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. They get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. And they'll get him down right about the 20. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission.
And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now.
Alert! 3 down.
And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive.
Well, I don't think there's any question, Brandon, at this stage. The stop troops, the defensive guys, they've got to use their 3 timeouts here. They've got to stop them and get the ball back.
Yeah, if you're in that 2 to 3 score deficit window that they're in now, you got to get it ASAP.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Stop them, use your timeouts. Easier to move the ball on offense without timeouts than to stop them on defense without using them.
And he's going to work this one down to about the 5. 9 good yards there on the run, and now 3rd down. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
This offense has converted 2 third downs on this drive already. This is 3rd and 4. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage. Back at the 6. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
They tried to run right into the teeth of the defense on third down, but looked like those teeth were pretty sharp.
They were having absolutely none of it, stuffed them for a loss.
Yeah, couldn't get any leverage up front and move people aside in order to run the ball.
So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
Even. 4 down. Even. Mike, check. 59.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the 4th quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production. But how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number of the offensive line and the other guys because they're getting to him before he can get started.
And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long.
Single.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Peterson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Danny Trevathan. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
And now we won't see a play on 1st down. We're going to get a timeout instead. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages.
Here we go. All day, baby, all day.
Mike's 5'4",
And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. Good gain there on 1st down. It keeps them in a winning situation, probably.
They did everything right on that play, didn't they? They got the leverage up front, good blocking, nice hole for him, ends up picking up nice yardage, stays in bounds to keep the clock rolling. They are in charge of this scenario right now. They want to stay that way.
And not in any rush offensively. And he goes backwards here, losing yardage back to the 16. He lost 2, and it brings up 4th.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
The offense staying out. They're going to go on 4th and 2.
We got 3.
Come on, let's go. What? 90. What? 90.
54's Mike. Check. Watch 54.
Watch the run. You're soft, baby. That's baby soft.
Run.
And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Taylor Gabriel, a 16-yard touchdown run. And the Bears use this short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Parkey with the extra point, and the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Here's Parkey now, set to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. Solid return, pretty good field position. They'll start at the 32-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just one last drive here for pride?
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time. But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them. And he's got room. Adrian Peterson off to the races. Touchdown, Washington. Adrian Peterson, 68 yards. And the Redskins are able to close the gap just a bit. Now the Redskin offense will stay out there and go for 2.
Double tight. 4 down.
Let's go. What? 90. What? 90.
9, Mike 5-9. Hey, watch the slant.
And he'll find his way in for 2. And we're back to a 2-score game. The lead's cut to 16.
2 on the play.
So time definitely not in their favor. Down 2 scores, but they'll try the onside kick.
Number 33, back to return.
And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. And with inside of 10 seconds, 8 to be precise, we get whistles and a timeout on the field. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. And now with 4 seconds left, we get a timeout call. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th.
3 down.
And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done.